In this video, I'm going to be going over the best budget cards to be buying right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. Just going to be going over the best budget cards right now on Myteam. Some are going to be cheap budget cards like 5, 10, 15,000 MT, and then maybe some more on the expensive side like 20, 25 to 30,000 MT budget cards, and just which are going to be the best in the game. Not really going by position or going by a top 10 or a certain amount of cards, just going to be great budget cards currently in Myteam that I think you guys should be looking to pick up. So first off here, starting off in the Titan set, I'll just be going by a promo set. I think it's a lot easier to understand. So Hassan Whiteside, if you're looking for a budget center, I think is a very solid option depending if you can green his jump shot. If you can knock it down though, he's a great center for under 10,000 MT. He plays defense, he rebounds the ball, he's got great size, and he can knock down a few shots here and there. If you don't like Hassan Whiteside's jump shot, I'd recommend most likely trying out Tyson Chandler, as I think he's easily one of the best budget centers, maybe even the best budget center currently in Myteam for around 10 to 15k, somewhere in that price tag. He's going to be an amazing 7'1" center. He's got a great wingspan, great player model. His stats are going to be super well rounded. The only thing, just like Hassan Whiteside, it really depends if you can green his release, and for me personally, I think it's actually a very solid jump shot that I can green with consistently, and if you can do that yourself, I think he's going to be one of the best, if not the best budget centers in the game, because take a look at these defensive stats: 98 block, 94 steal, 93 perimeter, 98 interior defense. He's got great rebounding numbers, and he's also got great speed and athleticism with a 97 strength, 98 vertical, 92 acceleration, and a 92 speed. So Tyson Chandler, if you don't like Hassan Whiteside, I would say is definitely the center to be looking to pick up for that like cheap budget price of only 10,000 MT. Now also from the Titan set, there's going to be so many great budget cards. For example, Xavier McDaniel. If you're looking for a super cheap small forward, I think whether it's the Titans version or the Hero, I think both are going to be amazing budget cards. Like if you look at the Hero price, I'm not exactly sure what he does go for, so I just want to quickly check his price tag and see how much he does cost, because if he's anything under 20k, which he is, looking to be about 15,000, maybe even a little bit cheaper, but 15,000 MT for Xavier McDaniel, whether it's his Hero or spending only about 3,000 MT on his Titans version, I think is going to be extremely good value with a card that has amazing dribble sigs, all around great stats and badges. And I think if we're talking about cheap budget cards in the game, he's definitely going to be up there for one of the best in Myteam. Also from the Titan set, like there's just so many great budget cards, is going to be this Galaxy Opal Michael Redd. If we're talking about one of the best offensive budget cards in Myteam, I think Michael Redd is an absolute beast at the shooting guard position. He's got a great jump shot, he's got amazing dribble sigs, he can knock down threes, create his own shot for only about 15,000, maybe even a little bit cheaper. Like you should be able to get this card for like 12 to 15,000 MT, and he's going to be all around a great solid shooting guard for about 12k, but mainly going to be great on the offensive end. Also cards like Jared Wallace, an amazing cheap shooting guard as well. Like there's just so many great cards from the Titan set. Like I don't want to choose too many cards from the set, but I kind of have to because there's just so many great options. So I'd say from the Titan set, all the great budget cards are going to be Hassan Whiteside, Xavier McDaniel, Jared Wallace, Jalen Rose I'll talk about here in a second because he's going to be a little bit more expensive. I do believe Jalen Rose is about 30 to 35k, so he's a little bit more on the expensive side of budget cards, so I'll come back and talk about Jalen Rose. But for 27k, like that's a really good pickup for Jalen Rose, so I'll just talk about him now. 27,000 MT, yes, going to be a little bit more on the expensive side when we're talking about budget cards, but he's got 60 total badges. He's a 6'8" point guard. I know a lot of people are questionable about his jump shot, but I do think he's got a great release. Then he's got some of the best, if not the best, dribble sigs in Myteam. He can defend at a high level because of his size. He's really good at getting to the basket. All around one of the best budget cards just in general in Myteam. So I think from the Titan set, literally every single Galaxy Opal, because even Luol Deng, now he might be a little bit more expensive than a budget card, so I'm not sure if I want to really include Luol Deng because I think he's still like 40k, maybe 35 at the lowest. So I'm not going to include Luol Deng. I think he's about 40,000, maybe 35k. So if you want to include him, you can, but I'm not going to include him in this budget cards, you know, just going over the best budget cards. So from Tyson Chandler to Michael Redd to Jalen Rose, Jared Wallace, Xavier McDaniel, and Hassan Whiteside, I think are all going to be amazing budget cards in Myteam that you guys should definitely be looking at, you know, to pick up and add to your budget teams. And then going over to the Interdimensional set, not going to be as as many amazing budget cards, but I do think first off here is going to be Isaac Bonga, a great 6'8" point guard. I think he's got an amazing jump shot for only about 7 to 10,000 MT. I just want to give you guys tons of options because it really comes down to preference at the end of the day. 15K, because another great budget point guard I think is the Galaxopal KPJ. He might be a little bit more expensive now. Wow, this card's gone up a crazy amount in price. He was only about like 25K. Looks like he's like 35 to 40K. So he's gone up a ton in price. So we're not going to count KPJ as a budget point guard, but comparing, Isaac Bonga to a card like even a Jalen Rose, for example, right? It really comes down to preference. I mean, Jalen Rose, I would say, is probably better for most people, but if you compare a card like Joe Ingles, right? Joe Ingles, I think he's another great option from the out of position 2 set, and comparing him to Isaac Bonga, it really just comes down to preference. I want to give you guys as many budget options to choose from, who I think are the best, and just really great budget options, and then you guys can go ahead, try them out, and test them out, and see who you do like the most. So from the Interdimensional set, Isaac Bonga definitely going to be an amazing budget point guard. Jalen Suggs, I don't think is great. Christian Braun's okay, but I wouldn't really consider them great budget cards. Lamar Odom, I don't really like this card personally, especially for his price tag. Like, this card's not worth 30,000 MT. He should be worth maybe 5,000. But Mike Miller, Shane Battier, both great budget options. Shane Battier, a great two-way card that only goes for about 10 to 15K, which is extremely good value for a card that's going to play elite level defense. He's got some of the best defensive tendencies in the game. And then you look at his stats. He's got a 90 block, 97 steal, 97 perimeter, 94 interior defense. He's super quick, 95 speed, 95 acceleration. He's also got great athleticism stats, and then he does have 17 Hall of Fame badges, including catch and shoot, corner specialist, limitless range, clamp breaker, quick first step, anchor, challenger, clamps, glove interceptor, menace, pick dodger, post lockdown, and workhorse as well. And then Mike Miller, going to be a very similar 6'8" shooting guard to a Shane Battier, except he's going to be, I would say, a better offensive card. So if you're looking for an offensive 2 guard, I think Mike Miller and Michael Redd, one of the best in the game. And then if you're looking for a 3-and-D shooting guard, or just a 3-and-D small forward, because Shane Battier can play the 3 as well, I think he's going to be a great budget option. Marc Gasol, he's way too expensive to be considered a budget card. He's going for at least like 65 to 70K. But from the Interdimensional set, the best budget cards are going to be Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Isaac Bonga, and that's probably it. So not too many budget cards, but I would say, yeah, Shane Battier, Mike Miller, and definitely Isaac Bonga. From the out of position 2 set, just going to be some more point guards, Joe Ingles, Elgin Baylor, Antoine Jameson, all great budget options. Robert Williams, if you're looking for a defensive card, he's one of the best budget defenders in the game. Hedo Turkoglu, he might be on more of the expensive side, but he's about 25 to 30K, and he's an amazing 6'10" point guard. He's got an amazing jump shot with the John Stockton base, the Trae Young upper, on very quick timing, so he can knock down threes at a very high level. 6'10" at the 1, so he's going to play very solid defense, and then he does have 17 Hall of Fame badges and 35 on gold. So Hedo Turkoglu, another great budget option. There's so many, from this out of position 2 set, cards like Ousmane Dieng, another very solid point guard option. So from out of position 2, I would say cards like Ousmane Dieng, cards like Joe Ingles, cards like Elgin Baylor, Robert Williams, Hedo Turkoglu, all great budget options. Also Antoine Jameson as well is an amazing kind of offensive and just all around, great 6'8" shooting guard. I would say very similar. I would say he's like kind of a balance between Mike Miller and Shane Battier. I would say is kind of Antoine Jameson, and he's another great budget card. From the Elemental set, there's only a couple cards I want to talk about, maybe only one, and that's going to be the Galaxopal Kyle Kuzma, who seemed to actually gone up a little bit in price. He's about 20,000 MT, but that's definitely going to be worth it for the play he gives you on the offensive end. He's one of the better offensive 3s in the game, having an amazing jump shot and also very good dribble 6. Peter Gudmundsson is once again, just like Marc Gasol, a little bit too expensive, still around like the 50 to 60K MT range. He's a great option, but not going to be budget. So yeah, I would say Mo Bamba and Kyle Kuzma going to be the only 2 budget cards that are really elite from the Elemental set. But yeah, Mo Bamba, a great 7-foot center who does have a 7'10" wingspan, and I would say is very similar to a card like Tyson Chandler. Going to be very similar center cards that can both play the power forward position. So yeah, from Elemental, just going to be Kyle Kuzma and Mo Bamba. From the Heroic set, there's really not too many great budget options, but I would say like Tony Kukoc, Thurl Bailey especially. Like Thurl Bailey might be the best budget card in my team right now, whether it's his normal heroic version or whether it's hero. He's just extremely good value at that small forward and power forward position. So yeah, great budget card here for only about 15K in Thurl Bailey. Kukoc is pretty solid as well. Other than that, I don't think there's many good other ones. Maybe like a Reggie Lewis, but just go get a Mike Miller, go get a Shane Battier, and Michael Redd. They're going to be a lot better. So from the heroic set, I would just say Thurl Bailey and Tony Kukoc are going to be great budget options. From the Supersonic set, I actually don't think there was any good budget cards. Like AK is way too expensive to be a budget card. I mean, that Vladimir card's not terrible, but I think there's just so many better options, you know, at the small forward position. Just go get a Kuzma, Thurl Bailey, or a Tony Kukoc. And then, yeah, that's going to be it from the Season 6 promos. And then from Season 5, there's just going to be cards like, you know, Poku's not bad for a 7-foot small forward. Jonathan Bender is going to be another 7-foot small forward. He might be a little bit more expensive right now. I think he's gone up in price, back up to like 40,000 MT, but you can still get him for about 30 to 35k. So I would say that's the more expensive side of budget cards, but he's going to be a great small forward option. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You know, Dino Raja, he's very solid as a power forward and center card as well. He's still got that 8-foot wingspan and plays very elite defense. And then from out of position 1, you got cards like Luke Walton. You got cards like, you know, Sengun and Scotty Barnes might be considered budget cards. Actually, no, they gone back up in price. Yeah, they're still about 50k. So from out of position 1, I would say like Luke Walton, and then that's pretty much going to be it. So yeah, guys, that's just going to be the best budget cards currently right now in my team. Not really going off like a top 10 or for a certain price tag or a certain position, but just going to be great budget cards. Pretty much everybody that I named in this video, you know, everyone that I went over and said was a good budget card, I think you guys can all run on your budget lineups, and sometimes those cards are good enough to play on any team in the game. And I would definitely recommend, you know, trying at least some of these cards, seeing who you like, who you don't like. And that's why I gave you guys so many options. So if you guys have any questions, if I went over it a little bit quick, I'm just trying to get you guys all the great budget options, and then you guys can kind of make your decision and your choice from there. But let me know in the comment section down below if this video to help you guys out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.